Well, greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I will be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. Now, if you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the show and attend the after party. Now, here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already, a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. And I'm going to post a link there very shortly. Now, if you are not a member, please register at Stunthangar Video. If you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments a part of the show. Understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comment. Now, if you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts or the many building videos, that Sparky does informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get all notifications for all videos, including when I come on as well. And share the videos and comments. Those all help the analytics. Now, I'm not in Sparky's space, but on Mondays and Friday nights. So if you want to get something to me quicker, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunts. All the letters are spelled out, all run together. Flying Control Line Stunt. And make a comment there. There's a video of the national championship from 2019. If you go in there and make a comment, I will get a notification and I will be able to get back to you quickly. Okay. Now, please consider joining our YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month. That's less than 17 cents a day. And your support offsets some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. And with your memberships, you'll get special badges I can see in the YouTube chat, unlimited replay of member-only videos, and once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. You can also use the super chat, which is located at the bottom of the chat box, to make donations. And but to come into the chat box to do the donations and to make your questions or comments be known, this has to happen during the live stream. So remember, every Monday and Friday starting at 6. That's when I really start at 6:45. I don't go live till later, but I start at 6:45. I mean, the link's not posted till later. But if you come into the show when it's streaming on YouTube at that time, the live part, you can actually make donations, make comments, and have questions answered. Okay. By the way, please keep conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't do around your children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to post a link at the forum so that people can come in here. Let me see here. Where is this at? All right. Yeah, that's posted. All right, great. And that's just part of my housekeeping. I got to go to, let me see what's going on YouTube. Oh, Jack Snalby's there already. Thank you, Jack. He says, hello, you all. And let me get to the control panel so I can see what's going on, how many people we have. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Pardon me. This is something that's a bit of a nuisance to me. I used to be able to do this before with the other platform, but this one I have to come in after the fact. Let's see. So Hope everyone had a good day today. I actually went out to the flying field today. I'll talk more about that when we get a chance to share with everybody. Now, this is different. Normally, it's not like this already. Fantastic. All right, cool. Well, hello, Jack. Again, I'm in the control panel. I see we have 11 viewers, 6 likes, 0 chat revenue, 0 members. So please consider joining our YouTube channel. Also, consider donating with the super chat, and the memberships help because it's an ongoing subscription as opposed to the super chat once and done, unless you do the super chat often. I gotta make some changes to the show. Just 1 second here. Let me fix this here. Be right with you. Fix this. Okay, done. All right, so let's save. Great. So let me see what's going on in the Zoom meeting here. I don't need this anymore. Okay, great. Well, no one's in here yet. I hope to be joined by some new people. That'd be wonderful. If you are watching this, some people think you have to be an expert, a know-it-all, or, you don't need to do all those things. We all learn from each other. I do have some experts that come in here frequently. Last week, we have some people that are former world champions, that come in here. And so we have some really good selection. We have some people that are new in the game, and some that have been doing it for a long time. It takes a long time and a great deal of sacrifice to be a world champion. That is really a high bar, and we don't expect you to have that kind of credentials to come in here. If you just have an interest and love for this hobby, that's all you need, and it will help you out. If all you need is a microphone and a camera, and you need to join the Stunthangar forum, which there's no cost to that. So I know there's a little bit of confusion out there. When I mentioned the subscription, people are thinking you need to pay to come in, and you do not need to pay anything to come in. Just have a computer with a microphone and a video, webcam. That way we can see you and you can see us, and that's all you need. Of course, a good internet connection is good as well. So let me see. So, well, let me just kill some time then. Well, I went out today with here we go. Here's Gary Sinclair. I'll wait for Gary to get completely in. I see you, Gary.
Yeah. Hey, this is Friday, not Monday.
I had Monday there?
Your post, I think, says Monday, doesn't it?
I thought I just had the date. I didn't know I had the day.
Well, I thought I saw.
Meaning a Stunthangar, you mean?
Yeah. Coming to you. Join the meeting for Monday.
Thank you. I'll fix that. I will fix that. I can edit. That nice thing is about the computer. Usually you can edit things. It doesn't necessarily break things,
You're right.
Let me go here and just, Monday. I don't know what I was thinking. I know today's Friday. So where is the edit button here? I can edit that. That might cause a little confusion.
Well, I get a little sign or something along there that I know that's new. So then once I watch it, then it goes away.
Pardon, here we go. So let me fix this. I've done that before.
Yeah.
Okay, Friday. I got today's date, and okay, I saved it. So now it's changed to Friday. Thank you very much for pointing that out.
Okay.
All right, so I can get rid of that. Trying to get rid of some of these tabs because I have so many tabs up, and that eats up your resources, So anyways, before you came in, I'm glad you came in, Gary. Thanks very much. I went out today. I'm going to probably repeat this, but I went out today flying with Joe Mata. Did you meet Joe Mata last Monday?
Yeah.
Came in
Yeah.
Monday with Joe Mata and Carl Reed. We went out flying today, and I flew. Now they flew as well as myself, but when I was flying the Strega, I actually got it in the air today, and actually got it flying. Boy, I tell you, it's been a long time coming. But you know what? The bad news is I didn't get the performance enhancements that I expected. I expected it to be much more responsive than before, and it really wasn't that much more responsive. I probably need to add some more tail weight or see what I can lighten up up front. I thought just by moving the motor back or aft 5/8 of an inch would be enough. And I don't know where else I can lighten up the front. I even put a smaller fuel tank in there, and I could go to a smaller fuel tank. That might save a little bit, but I might just have to put some more tail weight to get more responsive. I was actually considering, I have a fanterized handle, and I don't have it to show you, but I could actually widen my my line spacing.
Right.
And significantly by reversing the end. There's these end plates that the clips connect to, and I haven't set up the traditional way, but if I was to reverse them, then I actually could expand it even more. So that's one thing I could do, is do that, and that's something I was thinking about today. What are you looking at? I see.
Oh, a sign come up there, wanted me to update something, but then they'd have to restart. So then
yeah,
it might be off for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, you might not want to go there, because sometimes the updates, they cause a lot of problems. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Because it says in order to do it, it has to restart the computer. Now I don't want to do it right now.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't do it.
Good.
So,
but I have a question for you, because I know you know about color wheels and all that. When I look at the color wheels that I've noticed, Gary, it seems like all the color wheels do is help you mix paint or come up with colors. And I'm always curious what color works or looks good with this other color. And when I look at the color wheels, that's what I'm expecting them to point me is to what color goes good with this color. But all it seems to do is just help you mix colors. Is that true?
If you take the wheel and you got like a triangle, you take one color and then let it go off to the bottom, and them two colors will compensate with that color. They're kind of go together. They show that on there. And then on the internet, you can go to one that you can adjust and pick the color you want, and it'll show you what the other colors it is goes with it. So you can picture right on your computer, you can pick it.
Oh, you have to show me how to do that. I mean, off the air, and some other time you can show me that, because whenever I look at the color wheel, I'm thinking it's going to do all this for me, and it's like all it's doing is showing me how to mix paint or mix colors.
All the different colors there, yeah.
So, anyways, getting back to the Strega, but one thing I did, remember last Monday how the plane, the tail kept lifting up when Joe tried to launch it, and it was just a big problem. Do you remember that? We had a lot of discussion about that, because I had moved the engine back, and I had removed the 1/2 ounce of tail weight, which I didn't think I would need after moving this 13-ounce engine aft 5/8 of an inch. I just thought, well, that won't be necessary. And then had a rude awakening when the tail kept rising up and nosed over and would kill the engine, right? So how I got it to fly today was by replacing the 1/2 ounce tail weight. And so then it's fly. But then I had to, because the engine was moved back 5/8 of an inch, that changed the center of gravity for the plane. So I had to bend the landing gear forward to keep it from nosing over. Just in general, I mean, when you come in for a landing, it probably would have nosed over if I didn't change the landing gear. So I bent that forward. But as a result, the plane actually took off better today. Matter of fact, I had Joe commented that the plane had a really nice takeoff and really good landing. Now, also last week, oh, by the way, hi, Peter. Thanks for coming in.
Hey.
Yeah, hi, Peter.
Hello. And
What you been
you're
up to,
talking
Peter?
about your landing gear. I'm sorry I tuned in a bit late. I was wondering how that worked out.
Oh, that's okay. You know what? We have people who are hungry who just come in the show anyway, so including me. You know, I'm snacking on popcorn. But anyways, yeah. So I bent the landing gear forward, and so the plane did an excellent takeoff. I mean, it rolls out nice, and then it just gradually ascends into the air, and then the landings are equally as nice. And the problem is where I fly at, the surface is not totally flat. And so sometimes when I came in, I would land nice, but I would run into a rise or a bump or hump or whatever, and the plane would get a little bit airborne. So it was kind of hard to really totally judge, but it's for all that I could see, I think the plane is landing better than it has, I think, ever.
Well, you have no, I really have no control over the surface. So, you know, it's gonna, depending on where in the circle it comes down, and maybe a bump or whatever. So you really can't control that. It's more like I wouldn't even be so much concerned about it as just how smooth your descents are, and your descents and your ascents after the plane actually leaves the surface.
Right, I understand. But if someone on the same surface just greases it in, you know, because they just missed that spot, I think they will get a higher score. So, but I do. I mean, it's just human nature. You just be impressed with that. That was a great landing, you know.
I mean,
That's why I'm looking forward.
If the surface is paved, that's one thing. But you know, on an uneven surface on a grass field, even in a competition, I would hope the judges take into account the roughness of the surface.
Oh, they're supposed to, but again, there's this human error. You know, it's just, you know, competing in stunt is like a presentation. From the time you signal the judge, it is a presentation. So there's some things that shouldn't be judged, but they actually do sometimes factor into the score, even though they're not supposed to. And it's just because of human, it's just how we are, you know. You know, and sometimes if you really like something, you're going to reward it with a higher grade. You know, maybe some characteristics or attributes shouldn't have been a consideration. I see Brendan's name, but I don't see you, Brendan.
Let's see.
There we go.
There you
Hear
go.
me?
I see you now, and I hear you. Oh yeah. All right. So you guys are in the shop.
I got Angstrom here.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was just gonna say Angstrom. I knew it was the smallest measurement, and I knew that's what his name was. I was just trying to pull the trigger in my brain. But
Right.
so are you guys look like you're locked up a little bit. You guys
Yep.
I think you guys locked up.
So we're gonna do. We can try that.
Yeah, your video is just kind of skipping a little bit. But anyways, what I was telling everybody is that I'm going to go to an alternative flying site, which has a really nice field. It actually is flat and level, and just so I can really gauge how well the landing gear is positioned. So I really believe and suspect that the placement of the landing gear makes a difference in how well the plane lands. And you can, as a pilot, make up for those deficits and grease a landing in, but you might not consistently grease, 10 out of 10 landings, because it requires so much of the pilot's, decision making as far as coming in hot, slow, all kinds of stuff. And I think you can minimize that by having a landing gear in the right position. But on my field, because of the surface, it's really hard for me to judge if I got the landing gear right. I've had planes that like land automatically. I mean, it's like you don't have to think about it. Every landing is is just, you know, you get an applause. And then I've had planes where it can't land consistently like that. It takes a lot of work on my end.
Hey, any landing where the needle valve doesn't touch the ground before the wheels, I'm happy.
Yeah, well, you know, like I said, some planes do it automatically. I mean, it's almost like it's just so automatic, it's effortlessly. I mean, one example that I've had in my life was the Top Flight Score. That plane just landed beautifully. It was just, hey, Bob. So, anyways, I was just talking about my adventure today. Went out there and got the old girl out there flying again, the one you've seen, actually you've coached me with one time, and got that thing up in the air. I was expecting it to be a little bit more, have more performance, moving the engine back 5/8 of an inch. I thought that was quite significant and would deserve a more responsive plane, but it didn't make that much of a difference. But anyway, that's what happened. So anyways,
big response there.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'll work it out. I mean, I think it's landing better and taking off better. Today was some, and then you know, there was some concern when it nosed over. When I reported about it nosing over last week, there was a comment or a question if my wheels were crabbing the bend of the axle. And so I went ahead and soldered on a washer right at the bend to prevent any wheel from encroaching that corner, you know, and crabbing that corner and maybe not turning. So and as a result, now the plane, when it lands, I mean, it could probably on the ground roll about half a lap. And I know some people will do things deliberately to make sure the plane doesn't roll that extensively. Do you do things like that to make sure it doesn't roll? It's for a half a lap, or that's that all right?
Talking to me?
Yeah, you, Bob. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You don't want it rolling so much that if you're tight on time that you're going to go overtime rolling the airplane out. I don't like to put a whole lot of friction on the wheel because then it gets tend to make it want to nose over. But how long is it rolling?
Well, it can roll probably a half a lap, pretty close. I have to ask Joe and Carl. I was too busy just focusing on landing, but I know that it can roll. I mean, roll like never before, because I've I think putting that washer really was, maybe if it was crabbing the corner, it can't anymore. So the wheels just roll.
Now you're talking about on asphalt, or not on grass?
I haven't had a chance to try asphalt yet, but today on grass,
you're rolling half a lap on grass.
Wow. I believe pretty close. It was rolling pretty far, and you know, it can come in hot too. I mean, I could probably slow it down some, but yeah, it was rolling a lot. I want to imagine how far it would go on a smooth surface. That's kind of scary now to mention it.
Yeah. Well, you could try. I mean, how are the wheels attached? Do you have them on with the wheel collars, or
just
do you have
on I have the washer on one side and a collet on the on one side. So I slide the wheel onto the washer and then I terminate it with the collet.
You might try taking a wrap or two of copper wire, thin copper wire, between the wheel and the strut, where you have a washer soldered onto the strut.
Right.
Put a wrap of copper wire and twist it, and that'll put a little pressure against the wheel. Do it on the outboard wheel. So if anything, it makes the airplane turn outward, not inward towards you. A little wrap around the axle,
Okay.
right where the washer is attached to the axle. Just wrap it around a couple times, then twist it. That was the trick that Billy Rarewich taught me.
Interesting. Yeah, that's
a little bit of a break on the thing.
That is really neat. And you said to put it on the outboard wing? Oh, the
Yeah, put it
inboard?
on the outboard wheel. Yeah, you don't want the inboard wheel. You don't want it turning towards you. You want it to turn, if anything, a little away from you.
Oh, okay. All right. And I wasn't counterintuitive. I was thinking if I put on the outboard, it would come in, but actually you're right. It would make it go out. Okay.
Wow. Mhm.
But you don't want it to go out too much because that can almost induce it jumping into the air, right?
Yeah, but you don't want to make it so it's stiff. You just want to put a little tiny bit of pressure on that wheel. A little bit of pressure will slow it down.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's
Thank Billy.
yeah. I mean, that's just there's some of these old little tricks that now we don't necessarily know. Hey, Joe, I see you're beginning to connect. Thank you for coming in, and thank you, Bob, for coming in.
Yeah.
Here comes Carl. All right. Hey, Joe, am I exaggerating with the plane that the Strega today? Would it roll like a half a lap, you think, on the ground?
I would say about 40%, 30 or 40% of it.
Okay.
But yeah, the field we were on today wasn't really, I mean, I wouldn't consider that really, it was half grass, half dirt. You know, there was hardly any grass there really. So yeah, it was rolling a long way.
Yep. Hey, Carl, you made it in. Thank you.
Am I coming in better?
You're still overwhelming my speakers. So there is I don't know if you guys have the settings that I have, but there is a let's see, how do I find it? There is audio settings where you can adjust your microphone.
Well, what I mean is, when I talk, is it still being delayed?
Not well, you haven't said enough, but it seems like it's about right.
Okay. No, what would I do? Okay.
Are your headset? All right.
Well, I'm experimenting right now, see if I can find out what the problem is.
Okay. I'm gonna mute you a little bit. You're
Okay, hang on. Okay, how do I sound now?
that might be a little bit better.
I mean, I know, but am I delayed at all? Like I was last week?
I don't notice that. No, it's nothing like last week. You know, it's better than last week.
So is this better now?
A little loud.
A little loud.
A little loud, yeah.
Okay. Any suggestions how I might be able to fix that?
Yeah, under the microphone there to the lower left screen. If you that up arrow on the right hand side of that up arrow, you see that little arrow?
Yeah.
You click on that, and it'll show you a sub menu. And there's a menu there where you can test your microphone and speaker. There's a slide bar that you can lower your volume on your microphone. I was looking for that earlier to see if I could help you, and that's what I found. That's what I discovered today. So go to the test speaker and microphone. You see that?
Yeah, I see, but it doesn't say anything about testing the microphone. Oh, select the speaker.
Oh, hang on, I did the wrong thing.
All right, let me press something else here.
Yeah, but it's in that general vicinity. Audio settings.
Okay.
So you go to audio settings, and let me know when you get there.
Oh, auto adjust microphone speaker. Okay.
And there's a slide on your
So
microphone.
I clicked on that now. Oh.
Now you can lower your microphone.
Up above that.
Okay, the top is speaker, and then below that is microphone. And then you see the as an input level, then below that's
Okay, but where's the slide at? Is it where it says muted?
maybe you know what, Carl, I will probably have to do this some other time, Carl. It might take too long. But I did discover there is some adjustment there for your microphone. All right.
Hold on a second, guys. Let me share.
Yeah,
my
that's fine.
screen. Hold on. Let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Where's Carl? Who's Carl here?
Carl, it says Kathy Reed. This is
Oh, okay. All right, Carl. I'm gonna share my screen now.
Well, I see on the window it says automatically.
I'm gonna share my screen. Hold on.
That's because my wife said
I'm
me.
gonna do that. Oh, unfortunately, I can't. Heck. If
hey,
share
guys,
my
I would
screen-
rather us talk about model airplanes. We'll have to do this later. So
Oh, okay. Because I could share my screen and show them exactly what it is.
it might take longer than you think, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll take longer.
I think he was better off without his headphones.
Yeah, maybe. But either way, hey, Ed, thanks for coming in,
Yeah.
Ed.
How you doing? Am I okay? Too loud?
You're okay. Matter of fact, I like the venue, man. Would you move to another place or what?
I'm at my in-laws.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The in-laws let you use their computer and everything, huh?
Yeah, she don't use it.
All right, that's cool. So,
Well, at least not on Friday nights.
so have you been flying?
No, I hadn't got to fly yet, but I've got 3 or 4 ready to go. I just got to get out there to do it. It's been heat index has been like 107 here, so I can't with my diabetes and everything. I can't take the heat, so
Oh, I understand.
I don't need to get out there and have a heat stroke.
I totally understand. I have another gentleman that I fly with, and I was emailing with him about us getting together next week, and he was saying, Charles, I can't fly in his heat. He's had a heat stroke before, and he's still feeling the ill effects of that. So he's very cautious.
Oh yeah.
So I understand that. That is something we got to do. So Brandon has his hand raised. Hey, Brandon, you have my attention?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yes. And you guys
Okay.
are moving a little bit more.
Yeah.
Moving better.
Angstrom wants to know, what is that?
That is the
Talking about-
airplane.
You talking about the airplane?
Yeah,
Okay.
pull it back some.
Any guesses? I'm not sure what that is. My first thought was a twister,
Foam-
but
Foam wings.
That's not one of those trainers, is it?
It's not a rugged stunt trainer that we traditionally use. It's got a really big, stabilizer back there.
Is the elevator adjustable?
Elevator. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's got a screw on it where you can adjust the elevator up and down to sensitivity of it for trainer.
Screw
Turn it over.
where?
Turn it over.
Flip it over to him.
Boy, that almost looks like a hole shot in a way.
Yeah, I can't remember what I've got. Mine's got a hardwood fuselage to it with a foam wing, but the elevator has an adjustment screw on it where you can adjust the up and down, so you can start off with just doing some elevations and climb and dive and stuff like that, and then adjust it to get the more control out of it to do stunts. But I can't remember what it was. Mike Lonke told me he knows what it is, but I can't remember what it's called. It's got but mine's got a mono wheel on it.
That's
and-
got external control.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a hole shot.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I've got, but mine's got a mono wheel on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it got handed over to us at the Nats and the beginner, and so I didn't know what it was. Didn't know if you all knew.
It was free.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. That's exactly the model. It's a free model.
Put a 35 on it, fly it, 25 on it, fly it.
All right, that's what we'll do. That's what we're trying to do. Get a motor on it.
Hey,
All
Lynn,
right.
thanks for
Hey
coming in.
guys. Hey Charles.
Yeah, I got those items you sent me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm glad you liked them. Good stuff.
Yeah. So while I was gone, did you guys figure out what that plane was?
What's that?
I just heard that. I didn't see it. So I imagine is this a free airplane is what it is, right?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Hey, that's good. Nothing wrong with free airplanes. Hopefully it's it works good for Angstrom. Or is this for you, Brendan? Is this for Angstrom or is it for you?
You know what? He's getting a little bit more advanced and stuff. So we got like a Pathfinder that we're working with. What's that other one we got? He picked up a Giles, which is again with the Phil Cartier courthouse stuff, but it's bigger. And I'll tell you what do you think about flying that the other day?
It's nice.
Well, you tell them. Don't tell me. Sit down. Let me see you. Tell them about it.
It flew really nice. It made my squares really good on the sharp corners.
Oh, wow. Isn't that cool? That is nice. So when you came out of a corner, it stayed flat? It didn't bobble or anything?
No, it was good.
Oh, great. That's awesome.
Yeah. Flying flight streaks or the rugged stunt trainers and whatnot, we haven't really gotten sharp corners before, but I'll tell you what, my wife and I were just blown away watching him with the Giles out there the other day. It was as sharp as could be. So I don't know. That's pretty exciting on our end.
We're going to have to start calling you Orestes.
Won't be long.
Fantastic. We have a name I don't recognize here, Jim Secondary. I wonder who that is.
Yeah, I never met a free airplane I didn't like.
That's for sure. I mean, people see us and they're like, "Oh, you got kids? Here's this plane that I got for you." So
Perfect.
We've been collecting a lot of them. Some that are worthwhile, others that are pure reclamation projects.
If that actually works, I'm going to take some neighborhood kids with me to the next contest and see if I can get some free airplanes.
Yeah, there you go.
Pick some up on the way down there.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, I got something for you. I got me a pack of those line clips that you use the what they call them, Hawaiian
kitty clips.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I got a pack of 50 of them on eBay for like $10.
$10. You know what they normally cost?
Like $1 a piece.
A set of kitty clips is like $50 or something,
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
You show and tell and show them to us, Eddie.
Well, they're at the house.
Okay. Wow. That's great.
I hope they're under lock and key.
Let me see if it's on my phone here where I can, if the camera will pick it up.
Do they have like little springs over them?
No, these are what do they call them? These are actually fishing Hawaiian
Oh,
snacks.
you're talking about Luxon clips.
Let me get
You don't want to use those.
a better. See if I can.
Oh, those are
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those are good.
Yeah, they're good clips.
Yeah, they're good.
I use those.
It was
They're Sullivan type clips.
Yeah.
it was a pack of 50 and it was like $10.
Yeah, they're good. The ones you don't want to use is the one that had that little slider.
Yeah, that's the ones I used to use.
Look like dog bones or something.
Yeah, like a safety pin.
With today's kind of horsepower and pull, some of those can straighten right out. They just pull right out.
You was talking about that, man. I was talking to you about that at the Nats.
Yeah, Luxon clips.
You were using this style of clip.
Yeah, those
And
work.
I asked you about the slide clips, and you said don't use them.
Yeah.
When I got back and I was checking my lines, I actually had one of the slides was missing.
Oh gosh.
I
not
guess
good.
the last flight I had, it come off. So luckily it wasn't a big enough plane that it was us flying the Brodak P40 R. But yeah, so
No, you got good clips there. They'll work fine.
yeah, I'm just gonna swap everything out. Plus, I wasn't able to get on last couple of tries because I lost my password. Trying to recover it, the emails that was being sent from Stunthangar was going to my spam folder. So I never did get my emails to reset my password. But anyway, I got some Spectra line, some 65-pound Spectra, and I can't remember what kind of knots were being tied in the Spectra lines, because I know it's not for competition, but I just do fun fly. And does anybody have any? Is it on the AMA site as to what type of knot to tie?
I know
I
that
use
Mike
Palomar.
Wonky has done it 3 or 4 times. You go back.
Yeah, I can't remember
Sure.
how many shows it's been since.
Yeah, I know. And
Yeah, if you look it up, it's a Palomar knot.
But you have to double it, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't you have to have 2 lines going through the eye or something?
Yeah, I think he did like a double surgeon's knot or something, but he's also originally taught me a Palomar knot on it, and that's what we.
Palomar knot is the knot that I have on mine, but I don't remember how I tied it. I only have one set, but I'll tell you, they work good.
Yeah, just look it up, YouTube Palomar knot, and
Yeah.
it'll do
That's
it.
why I know how to tie a Palomar. That's what I use fishing, but with my braided
Right.
line.
Yep.
But I didn't know if with cinching it up tight on that, or do you leave a loop in it?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
It's been too long ago.
I don't leave a loop in it.
Yeah, where's Lonke these days? He
I
could
know.
do that again.
He'd be bitching because I done told y'all 6 times.
yeah,
Okay.
Mike Wonky. I know Monday you was too tired to come in.
Yeah.
So I don't know what.
We'll see
else.
if he comes in tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has
Yeah,
anybody tried that the thing I mentioned in the Monday night about the drag plates on the elevators?
Still thinking
I will.
about it.
I just I was happy to get my plane in the air today. I didn't want to complicate it by putting the drag plates on there, but I think my plane.
We're still thinking about it, but we haven't got to it yet. But
Charles,
we will.
that might help your sensitivity too.
I know. I'm definitely going to try it, Bob. I definitely will try it.
So am I.
Let me catch up on the chat box, you guys. Of course, earlier in the chat box, there was confirmation that it was too loud, Carl, so I'll just skip all that. But then we have Joanne Lynch says, "Hey, Bob."
Hey, Joanne.
And then Joanne Lynch goes, "Taylor and Jim are going flying tomorrow morning at the Barnstormers." And then Marcel Legrand, he says, "Hey guys, I started building a profile twin the other day. John gave me the PDF for it. I finished the engine pods and fuse so far. Very good. I hope you're going electric on that twin, Marcel. Would make life a little bit easier." And then Joanne Lynch says, "Jim Lynch said hi." And I mentioned this to you, Bob.
Yeah.
And
Old
then
buddy of
James-
mine. Good buddy.
oh, cool. And then James Smith explained to me that he's Jim's secondary is on his Mac, so he's trying to get in. He's trying to get in with the other computer, I guess. And then John Miller says can't log in. Can't log into the live chat. I don't know
Don't know what
why you
happened.
can't.
Yeah, I didn't have any trouble.
And then we got a $5 super chat from Jim as well. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. And then Joanne Lynch says spark plugs are now $12 a piece. And I
Yeah.
wonder if she means glow plugs.
Yes, that's what she means. And yes, they are.
The spark plugs are even more than that.
Tell Joanne, tell Jim to give me a call and I'll walk him through how to get into electric. It's a lot cheaper in the long run, a lot cheaper.
And of course, spark plug is less
I
money.
imagine they heard that. And then Jim Smith says, get in shortly. And then John Miller says, Marcel is doing a great job on his twin. Well, fantastic. And then Joanne Lynch says, Jim is building a twin Comanche.
Cool.
Cool. It'll be beautiful.
So we're all caught up. I've been
He's
meaning to
one of
ask, is that Angstrom, is that your trophy there from the Nats?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, can I see it?
Just happens to be there, right?
Yeah, we just got the plates engraved the other day, so he was putting them on, and then also the covering that goes over it. The screw holes are so loose that we were gluing in some toothpicks into the bottom of it. So go ahead, pick it up, show it.
Don't drop it.
You gotta handle this thing. So, just do a little-
Angstrom, congratulations, man. That is awesome.
Thanks.
I don't
Cool.
have
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So now tell me, what does it say? That big plate. What does that big plate say, the engraving?
You want to read it?
Yeah.
The Allen what does that say about-
Brick House, the Allen Brick House.
Eagles Nest Junior Senior Beginner
Perpetual Trophy.
Perpetual Trophy.
Initiated.
Initiated and donated by the Bob Howard family. Woodwork by Harry West.
Wow.
That's
Nice,
cool.
nice.
And I don't have any trophy as nice as that. Even though yours is a perpetual, you have to give it back. That's still nice to have in your shop for a while.
You betcha.
Yeah, his sister was the only other junior to fly this year, so we may be able to keep it for 2 years.
Yeah, maybe.
If she
I
takes
mean,
it
that's
next-
incentive. I mean, you get attached to it. You don't want to give it back.
that's right. And then I guess my wife and I'll just have to have more kids to keep it going after that.
Yeah.
I kind of felt that way about the Walker Trophy, but I had to take that back. So
I bet.
Yeah, I'll bet you
Yeah.
did.
Yes. I mean, wow. That's a nice trophy. Congratulations.
yeah, very nice. hmm You coming to our contest, Brendan?
You know what? With the kids not being able to get vaccinated yet, I don't think we're going to make it out. But I'm going to have to find a way to get you your plaque, for the perpetual award you got. But
Well,
yeah, we had circled the date and we really wanted to make it out. We really enjoyed coming out there 2 years ago when we did. But I don't know, with all this COVID stuff, and again, the kids can't get vaccinated yet. So I think we're sitting this out, but we're going to learn the whole pattern. That's our goal this fall here. It's been 90, 95 degrees the last 2 weeks or so, so it's been miserable to fly. But hopefully as things cool down, we learn the whole pattern and get him up in intermediate next year.
That's
That
awesome.
that fly-off award you got, we're going to give that over to the Middlesex modelers because
Okay.
because that was Ed Berry award, and he was a member of the Middlesex modelers, but he had just passed away just before our contest. So I figured we initiate that at our contest, and then hand it over to Middlesex so they can give it out at their contest.
So do they have a contest they're doing here
Yeah,
this?
it just happened. So what we should do is we're not going to be able to give that out for this year because they didn't do a fly off. I should have told them we could have got it back from you and did a fly off and get the trophy retroactive. We'll just do it next year.
Yeah, and what we can do is, we're all excited. We'll show our enthusiasm here that Brodax is back next year. It's in our backyard. We're so pumped to hear about that. And so what we can do is we can definitely bring that plaque to that event to kind of get it start moving back toward Middlesex area and whatnot for their
Yeah,
event.
somebody can bring it back. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be doing some home flying.
Okay.
What is Angstrom's next maneuver he wants to nail or get?
What do you want to nail next? He's thinking. What's the maneuver you want to nail next? Like really do. Over hourglass.
I was thinking.
About outside squares, we can name those.
I can tell you one you want to avoid.
What's that?
You don't want to learn how to do a figure 9.
Yeah, never want to learn that one.
No figure 9.
What are you thinking?
We should do outside squares.
He says outside squares. We haven't done any outside squares yet.
That's a scary maneuver.
Yeah, that was really scary for me.
That first
Do it.
turn towards we call that coffin corner.
Yeah, do them round for a while first.
What's that?
Do them round for a while first. Get used to just doing the loop from the top before
Yeah.
you try the square.
Do a D.
I'm in the process of teaching a bunch of guys up here how to fly stunt, and I'll tell you, it's quite the challenge.
Yeah.
But you know what
Well,
I've done? What I'm doing right now is I'm converting a lot of combat planes into stunt planes. And I'll show you guys some of the stuff I'm working on because it really helps, because I don't want to see these guys out busting good airplanes one after another. It's just too
Yeah.
costly and too time consuming to keep building new airplanes and rebuilding old ones. So I'll show you guys what I've been working on.
Great,
Hang on.
good idea.
Yeah.
I think combat planes make pretty good trainers. You slow them down. These is
Yeah,
ones
they're-
in the Ukraine. They're really durable. I mean, Carl has whacked them, and all he's had is a broken prop, put a new prop on it, and wham, you back in there. And Joe, have you whacked one yet? And then just broke the prop, and it still was
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. I replaced the ringmaster with a combat plane, slow it down, and works out pretty well.
Yeah.
As we're learning outside squares, I mean, the advice there was to, come in high and just work on outside loops at that start. But what about doing like an inside square to start and then going into an outside square, like you're doing a square 8? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the best way. I don't do this stuff. I'm a novice more than he is. He's my expert here. So anybody got any?
Do them high.
Do them high, yeah.
Do them high. Then
Don't have to worry about the 5 foot
work your way
bottom.
down
Just
to the
go
ground.
real high.
Okay.
You know what I did is I actually did like a wing over, and at the top of the wing over, I started the first coffin corner of the outside square. Now, is he trying to learn the outside square or just the inside square? I'm a little bit confused.
No, he's got inside squares down.
Okay.
Yeah, his inside squares are what we were doing the other day on the Giles that were real sharp, and that looked good. So we got something that can do some sharp corners. Just we've never done any outsides.
Enter them real high, like 70, 80 degrees, and then pull out maybe at 35, 40 degrees until you get the timing down. And then you can work them down gently as you go. You don't have to make them right at 5 feet. That's one mistake a lot of people make, is they try to do all the aspects of a maneuver correctly the first time they try it. And that's a good way to crash an airplane. Get the timing down, get the shape down, and then bring the whole thing down to 5 feet. Don't try to do it right at 5 feet.
Okay.
You gotta learn what your plane will what it can do. If it can't make the corners, then you're gonna plan it.
Well, apparently that Giles can turn pretty good corner. He said the inside corners are very good.
Right. But you know as well as I do, some of them will do an inside a whole lot sharper than they'll do an outside.
Then you got a problem with the building.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, if you don't know who built the plane, then you know, because I've got some that was given to me that they'll turn a whole lot nicer insides than they will outsides. Not squares, but just regular loops. But I don't try nothing fancy with those. I just fly them. But plus, what I've heard you guys talk about too is it's not properly trimmed. You'll have it turning better on the insides than you do your outsides.
That's very true. Do you have someone who's flying with you, Brendan, that can do the pattern?
No, not anybody super close. We used to fly with a couple times with a guy named Chris Fretz up in Pittsburgh area, but we haven't flown with him for a moment. So
he's a pretty good flyer now.
He can show us some stuff.
One thing you can do is pull up like you're going to do a wing over. And then when you get up to about 45 degrees, just get full down to level and see how the airplane turns as if you were doing the top of the outside square first.
Yeah, that makes sense. You get that?
Just do it, pull straight up and then over. And then it'll tell you how fast the airplane will turn before you come straight down at the ground and try to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't have to do the maneuver as written right away. You can even fly inverted and just start doing outside squares from level flight until you get the timing down, and then you can get the proper entry path later on.
Yeah, so I guess he gets inverted well, so that's another way of doing it would be being inverted and then try to do the two sharp corners out of it.
Right.
Exactly.
And that way you got at least
you don't have to do the whole maneuver. Like I said, just do two. Just go up and then level and then fly out, until you get the timing. And then eventually you'll get all four.
Cool.
All right.
I can get three real good.
I wish some of my buddies here could hear this conversation. They're not on Stunthangar, but I wish they were because they need to hear this too.
Yeah, I'm glad that Carl and Joe are hearing this because
yes, I hope they're listening carefully.
That's in the near future.
Yeah, for sure. Once you start learning the pattern, there's so many little tips and tricks that the guys who know how to do it can show you different little things. And it's so hard because it's so hard for the new guys because they don't know, they're just not there yet. Like they don't know what to expect.
Hey, and this probably isn't conventional, but do you want to tell them how we learned how to fly inverted? 2 sets of wings? Landing gear?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, tell them what we had.
We had landing gear on the normal part of the airplane, and then there was like another set of landing gear going up.
Yeah.
So he had 2 sets of landing gear on there, and he'd take off, essentially inverted. So
yeah, that works. Hey, whatever works. That's it.
Yes.
You know how I learned to fly inverted? It was a field across from our house. We lived up in Millington, New Jersey, and there was this big field with real tall grass, or like hay almost. And my father said, just go inverted, and if you make a mistake and you go in, it's going to hit the grass and it's not going to hurt the airplane. It was a Flight Streak Junior, and it worked to perfection. A couple of flights and I was flying inverted. I was 33 at the time.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what that was. A little Satan and knee-high grass worked like a charm.
Yeah, it works fine. It really does.
Just got to.
Well, I'm glad you said that.
Oh my God! Turn it off.
Okay.
When my son wanted to fly pattern, he came to me and said, "Dad, I want to learn how to fly stunt." He was about 12. He had tried flying some years before with one of those little Cox chipmunks, and he crashed it. He was upset about it. So when he was 12, he came and said, "Dad, I want to learn to do this," because he'd been hanging around with us, Billy and all the guys with, flying around here. And I took him out to the field with the hole shot. We built a little airplane called the hole shot, which was very similar to a slow combat airplane. Matter of fact, it was developed from Rich Mathis's, I forgot the name of the airplane now. He had an airplane that was a little slow combat airplane. We developed it from that. But at any rate, I took him out there and I put my hand over his hand and I forced him through the maneuvers. We did the maneuvers and I forced his hand to do it until I felt him anticipating, and then I would let up on the hand.
A little bit.
And he was doing the maneuvers. And I told him, I said, look, it's going to take probably a year to learn the pattern. You're going to crash a lot of airplanes. Don't worry about it. We'll fix them. Well, a week later, he knew the entire pattern. And 2 weeks later, he took second in his first stunt contest.
Wow.
So that does work, because you're forcing him to do the maneuvers and he's not going to crash because he can feel what you're doing, and then he takes over. So if you know the pattern, if you have someone that knows the pattern that could do that, that's a good way to learn.
Hey, Howard. Thanks for coming in.
Who's got the vault? Hey, Howard.
Howard's here.
Charles, who has the volume problem?
Carl
Okay.
Reed.
Is he?
Hi, Howard.
Hi.
There's got to be some way we can get his stuff straightened out so he can talk without just
I think we
blowing
need
us
to do
right.
an after party, Lynn. I think
Okay.
it'll take us too long.
Okay.
I'm afraid it will take us too long.
Can he just
Okay.
sit back further from the mic?
Yeah.
That's
Sit
a simple
back
way.
further.
If you sit back from the mic, sit back there, lean back and talk. That'll work.
Yeah, try that, Carl.
How's that?
Yeah, much better.
A little
Yeah.
better.
Okay.
Sit
Okay.
back a little further or in the next room.
Well, no, because then I'll have to deal with my wife.
Sit back,
Carl,
man.
go back. Sit back, Carl.
Sit back.
Sit
Okay.
back.
Got a seatbelt on that couch?
Okay,
Yeah.
how's that?
That's better.
Take-
Just
Take
Just
the
put a-
cotton ball
Is
across.
that better?
yeah,
Just
just
talk
put
a
a,
little
Okay.
softer. Just talk a little softer.
talk
Well-
softly. Talk softly and put a seatbelt on.
Okay.
Tape the cotton ball across the mic.
Yeah, talk softly and carry a big stick.
How's this?
Much better. That's
Better.
perfect.
Okay, is this better?
Yeah. Now
Okay.
now
Okay.
whisper.
I'm glad that you are all. You know what? If this was an after party, I would show you something there, buddy. No, I'm glad you're talking about flying inverted, especially the young man that was talking, because now that I overcome my outside loops, which I'm very confident in doing them now, as Charles can agree with me, now I gotta get over the fear of doing inverting somehow, either coming around and then going this way, or coming down and coming up and going. So, congratulations to the young man that learned how to do that.
There you go.
So that's my next trick.
Good stuff.
Howard, how are you coming along on your adventures in learning outside squares?
Outside squares, I do extra ones at the end of the flight. So the CG doesn't change because I'm electric. So I'm learning those twice as fast as anything else.
There you go.
Perfect.
You're talking about flying inverted. I learned how to fly inverted by accident.
A lot of people did.
I went into a loop, and the engine kind of stalled on me, so I pulled out of it. Now all of a sudden I'm upside down, and I'm thinking, "Oh God, what am I going to do now?" So I'm flying that shoestring upside down, and I've got like 3 laps in now, and I'm thinking, I got to get out of this. I got to get out of this. So I said, all right, here we go. Just give it full down. And it snapped back around. And I'm like, well, damn, that was easy. So then I started doing just lazy eights. And I'd sit there and I'd pull around. I'd come up and then just kind of go inverted and then come back up. And I'd sit there and fly inverted just a quarter at a time to get my bearings and everything, and then worked on the figure eights that way. But yeah, they just when that engine stalled and I had to pull out of it, I was upside down and didn't really want to be.
Hey, Howard, you can see how far I got with those vortex generators you sent me.
Yeah, it's go ahead and open the box. You can do it right here in public with everybody looking.
That's
Yeah,
a good idea.
I'd like to see what one looks like.
I'll do that.
Awesome.
Hey, has anybody learned that you know of learned how to fly inverted by launching the plane backwards, upside down to go the other way?
Yeah, Steve Hines, that's how he taught Samantha, I think.
That worked out pretty well.
I hear a little sarcasm in that.
No, it's true. It did work out well. You became a very good stunt player.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Worked so well that she quit.
Hey, Tom, thanks for coming in. And Jim, I saw you momentarily. Jim has his hand up, so Jim must have has a question. Go ahead, Jim.
Let me try to get my camera somewhere in the neighborhood, but at any rate.
There's an old man holding a vortex generator. I see that.
Yes.
Let's see that.
Oh, there we go.
Say something, Bob.
Careful with that old man stuff, pal.
Say something, Bob. Okay. I want to see
Bob.
Bob. I want to see Bob big so I can see the generator. Okay.
Where is it? There it is.
Oh wow.
Hard to see.
So now where would you put that thing?
Oh no, it looks like you pulled a tooth.
Hurt like hell, I bet too.
That was good. I'll try those. I'll tell you one thing though, Howard, those drag plates really work.
Well, or whatever they are.
Yeah, whatever they are. I call them drag plates.
What's with you, Jim? Looks like you're lying down.
Yeah, I finally got lined up. You guys were talking about the line clips. So I was
Things just
Yeah.
I was gonna show you.
staticky.
Where'd he go?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Oh, let's hear what it's going.
All right. So let's see.
It's not going in and out. Well, maybe it's too far away.
Yeah, I'm probably too far away. Hang on.
I see you pretty good, Jim.
Okay.
You need to relax more.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
funny.
Well, I was getting ready for bed. Where is that thing at?
Let's see, you're fine.
Here it comes.
What are we
Thing.
doing?
He's got trying to find his camera.
Oh, you're trying to find your camera? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Or
with
that.
with
Come
the-
down. Come down.
Yeah.
Kind of like put.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
now go to your
Okay.
right. Out, down.
This is better than when I was doing it on the wrong side of the iPad.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it
You
is.
got it.
There you
Hey,
go.
those are my favorite clips.
Those clips are not actually what you think. This is a modification that I did, that Wayne and I did for selling with our handle. And come on, get back in there. Freaking comedy bird.
I've been there. It is comic relief.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the one made with the Jim Lee clip bender, but with a piece of tubing over the pin, so it's a bigger radius, right?
Yes, exactly right. And so it's small on one end and bigger on the other end. And so
I see that.
Like most of the people viewing this.
Yeah, big on one end, it's smaller on the other. That's right.
yeah, and what it does is because we use the 332nd Dragon plate, the regular Jim Lee clips are hard to get in. But these slide right through. So that's
Good idea.
That's the whole idea. And you just take the same jig that Jim Lee uses, and you just put that piece of brass tubing over it, and it makes one end bigger.
When do you get out of traction?
Yeah. Well, I'm a little medicated right now.
Oh, we didn't notice.
We never noticed.
I didn't know if you had been drinking, but now I know.
Yeah.
I think I might get medicated myself.
Yeah, I think I need some of that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is some stuff right here.
I bet you. Well, you don't seem too loopy, Jim. You're all right.
You got a DCUI, demonstrating clips under the influence.
Yeah. So, and of course, the actual steel material, you can get that either from Jim Lee or you can go to McMaster Car and order it there. And that's stainless steel. And that's what you want to use is a stainless steel.
You know what the diameter of that is?
I don't right offhand.
Okay.
50 thousandths is what Jim uses, I think.
What is it, Howard?
50 thousandths.
50 thousandths. Okay, that's good.
All right. All right.
Is that spring steel or just regular stainless?
It's stainless. Well, I don't think it's spring steel.
Spring steel need too much iron.
Well, it has quite a bit of iron, but I don't know if it's spring steel. But that's what you get.
Yeah, I don't know what species of stainless it is, but Jim can tell you. Jim Lee.
Yeah, Jim could tell you what it is. And then really the only other thing I got is I was going to talk to Howard and Tom, just to say, I understand we got a few months to go, Tom. So I'll put some stuff up on Stunthangar pretty soon. I'll be good in the morning, so I'll get a little work done. And then, like I say, I'll just put a blurb in there about the Bicus units. But Howard don't want anything to do with a Bicus unit, so I don't know if you want me to send them to you or how you guys are doing that, but at any rate, I don't really want anything. I just want to know where to get them. So I know where to get them now, providing we get enough guys. What do you think? What do you think the amount is, Tom, that we gotta have?
I don't have that calculated out yet, but what Jim's talking about for everybody that's watching, it's the TUT unit and the Bicus unit, and the TUT was designed by Tim Westcott, and so Jim asked me if I would build them. I've been talking to both Tim and Howard because Howard came up with the idea, and then Tim came up with the design. And so, but these are timers. It's a Tim's Universal Timer. That's what TUT stands for.
Yeah, you get the bycast units from me, and if you get them from somebody else, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
So, I guess the plan is for me to produce the TUT unit. And so I've ordered parts to build up an oven to actually manufacture them. They're surface mount and programmable. So it takes it's a pretty sophisticated heat and timing scheme to solder the surface mount. Yeah, to solder, it's a solder paste, and so it takes a specific temperature curve to do it properly. And so I'm doing a microcontroller based timing unit that monitors the temperature so that it can solder properly.
Okay.
I've got all the parts ordered to build that, and I've started building it. I'm also gonna put my YouTube channel is Tom Space Ramble, and I'm starting to put some videos of how I build the oven also.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys interested in seeing that?
Use through-hole parts to make your oven controller.
Do I use through-hole parts?
I'm recommending that you do.
Oh.
Because if you don't have it, if you need surface mount parts, you haven't made the controller yet to make the oven to make.
Good point. So anyway, I guess we can make the announcement now that TUTs will be available eventually. Right now we're having an issue with parts because of
Yeah, it takes a while to get them.
We lost Tom.
Sounds good.
So what am I supposed to do if somebody sends me something about a bike? If I send that person's name to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why would anybody go to you for that?
Well, I'm hoping they're not. I don't want to be paying much for everybody. I'll pay much for mine, but I don't want to, plus I don't even know if half of these people are going to be, going to the Nats. And have you guys decided whether you're trying to sell these globally or not? Or are you just going to do the 48 US?
I think we'll just do the 48 US for now.
Okay. Yeah, because global is a lot harder. That's for sure. Okay, well, I think I got the plan. So I'll just send the things to Howard, and then I'll send.
Send what to me? Oh, send people to me.
I'm going to send people to you.
Oh, you said things.
Well, sorry.
Well,
he's medicated.
I'm medicated.
I think of them that way too.
I'm medicated.
Yeah, I'm working on
it. Medicated.
And so what am I going to do with the TUTs? Now, am I supposed to actually send them to you, Tom, when you get your something up, or do I send Howard the thing and then he sends you the order for the TUT, or how's that part work?
We should probably talk about that.
Okay.
We don't have to do that online though.
Yeah, we don't have to do it online. Okay, well, that's about it for me.
All right, let me Mike Lomke has his hand raised, and after Mike, I need to catch up on the chat box. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I was just going to say hi to Jim Smith there and tell him I
I got the email chain from Wayne, so I hope you're ready for us for King Orange, because it looks like we're going to be sharing a house together. So
Yep, we got your reservation all made.
that's awesome. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys inviting Sam and I to share that Airbnb with you, because for our whole stay is going to be what it would cost me one night in the crappy hotel we stayed in last time. So thank you. Thank Jim for that. And I'm sorry, Wayne. Tell Wayne thank you, and thank you as well. So we're looking forward to it.
Yep. Yeah, that place filled up fast. I didn't even have a place for Phil Bailey. I was going to invite him, but we don't have any rooms.
Oh, well, too bad for Phil. As long as Sam and I got a bed, that's all we care about.
Yeah, I think Phil takes up more room than that.
Yeah. Now, I did invite him over for the barbecue.
Okay.
I have some hamburgers and hot dogs on it if the weather's halfway decent.
Yeah, he can sleep out in the backyard. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he might.
Jim,
And one more thing, Jim. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Howard.
Your glasses are on top of your head. I think you ought to know that before you go to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know they're there.
Okay.
I gotta get up. I have to get up for a second before I go to bed. But
If you can remember this, have Wayne email me his address. Because I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to ship him like 4 engines with mounts and needle valves ready to go.
Okay.
Before the contest, so that he can just go ahead and put them on the airplane, so we're not having to mess with that while we're there on the combat planes.
Yeah.
I'll just ship them down to him ahead of time, and then he'll just have to put 2 bolts on through the nose block, and they'll be ready to go.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll let him know.
Okay.
All right, let me catch up on the chat box. So Marcel Legrand, I guess this is regarding flying inverted. He says, I have a system, the 2 handles, front and back. If they make a mistake, you take over one set of the lines. And I think John Miller turned me on to that system. Yeah, that's a good system, Marcel. And then John Miller says, another way to learn outside squares is to do the first tries entering from inverted at about 10 feet, get feeling good with the maneuver, like Bob just made that point. So another way. And then Marcel Legrand says, I used to fly RC Pylon and taught my Pylon mate, who has never flown a control line, to fly 2 flights using that method. 3rd flight, he was doing 8s. Very good. And then Joe Costantino.
Joe Costantino.
Yeah, Joe Costantino, excuse me, says hi to Bob. Bob, you got a lot of people saying hi to you this evening.
Yeah.
You should just come on the show to say hi to you.
Hey, Bob.
And then the last thing is Marcel Legrand says, Charles, can you ask Howard Rush what he thinks of that Pathfinder twin that Gordon gave him?
It's wonderful. Ask Bob.
Yeah, it's an amazing airplane. Amazing airplane.
Wow.
By the way, that Joel Costantino, I'm going to embarrass him since he's not on here to stop me. I'm going to embarrass him. He does like Barrett Jackson level restorations on cars. He did a GTO that was an absolute basket case, and it rolled out of his shop looking like something you see on Barrett Jackson or Meekum. It's just amazing. You know, he does beautiful restoration work, and we shoot all our airplanes in his shop. And the only thing he charges us is a steak sandwich at the local hotel up there. So,
wow, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Hey, Bob.
Yep.
I'm trying to jog my memory, going back in the day. At Flushing Meadow Park.
Yeah.
I recall one time You were out there. I think Gene was out there. Bob Lampione was out there, and there was another fellow, and I think he was flying a chrome. Somebody was flying a chrome monocoque, an airplane, a model that was all chrome monocoque, maybe bright orange and chrome. Do you recall who that was?
No, I sure don't.
Because he was flying with you guys, and I can't remember. I thought he had red hair too, and I can't remember now.
Oh, that might have been Mike Rogers.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
don't
we called him Carrot Top.
Oh, okay. That would make sense because they have bright red hair.
Yep, that was Mike Rogers.
Okay.
Mike Rogers. Wasn't that Captain America?
Different Mike Rogers.
Oh.
Mike was a phenomenal builder. I guess he still is. He got into ballroom dancing. And he gave up his nut, but he built beautiful pattern masters. He really did. Pretty good flyer too.
This must have been one of his beater airplanes because I think I recall it being like chrome monocoque and bright orange.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
Mark.
the only redhead I can remember being at Flushing Meadows was Mike.
Okay.
Oh, matter of fact, I got a picture of him. Let's see if I can find it.
And
put
he
it
was
up.
Denny. Thank you, Denny, and Mark for coming in.
Yeah, because you guys were in the circle that was closest to the Van Wyck Expressway, and he was on the paved circle on the other one with Bob Lampione.
All right. Yeah.
Lynn has an airplane he wants to show.
Who?
Lynn.
Yeah, I brought it up about 40 minutes ago, but we got on to other subjects.
Oh, show it off. Come on.
Yeah.
The guys in our club that are learning how to fly stunt, one of the guys in our club was a former combat flyer, and he used to fly these slow combat airplanes. He brought out about, I'd say 7 or 8 of them to our club one day, and he said, "Hey guys, just take them. I'm not going to fly any more combat. I want to get rid of these." So everybody grabbed a couple of airplanes. And what we started doing is turning them into stunt models.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I added wheels to the bottom of this one and put a stunt tank on it and Tower 40 and a landing gear, a proper landing gear. This airplane flies the most beautiful stunt pattern I could ever imagine. I changed the tails on it and so forth. Put a double tail on it as opposed to no tail on it, which it originally had. And this thing flies an amazingly good stunt pattern. So the idea being was that the airplane was really easy to use to make into a stunter. So I started thinking, hey, maybe I could turn some other combat airplanes into stunters as well. So what I've done in the last week or so is I decided, well, what's available today in combat that you can use to make a stunter out of? And I thought, hey, maybe I'll take an FAI combat model. So this is an old FAI combat model. As you can see, it's just the wing. I've taken the tail off it and so forth. It's a standard modern design, pretty much FAI combat airplane. So what I've done is one of the other slow combat models that I just showed you had crashed. One of those 7 or 8 airplanes that he had brought to the field had crashed. So what I did is I took the nose off of it, cut it out, and fit it to go onto the combat model, onto the FAI combat model. So now you have a nose like this, as opposed to a standard combat airplane where the motor is basically right up against the leading edge.
All right.
Then what I did is I took the tail section from the combat model that had survived. It was still all in one piece with the little fuselage boom. And we added that to the tail, like so. Now you have a really decent stunt trainer that looks basically like a Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
So I'm going to finish this up in the next week or so, and I'll let you guys know how it flies. And I think it should fly pretty much the same as the original slow combat model, maybe even a little better, because this is actually very light. I could probably fly this with a 25 or at most like a max 35 engine. I won't need a 40 to fly this. It's so
Oh,
light.
wow.
It's as light as a feather.
Yeah,
But
I've got something like that upstairs in my shop. I might
Yeah.
go up and get it to show you, but
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it works great.
Yeah, but it's a great way that you can put together some stunt trainers for guys who are learning to fly the pattern without going out and building twisters and stuff like that, or like full-size profile airplanes or full-bodied airplanes that if you crash it once, it's shot. There's no more. With these FAIs, they crash all the time. They don't usually the wings don't break on them when they crash.
Yeah.
So they're very easily repaired, and the guys can go out and bang around with them. And yeah, I think it might be a ticket to an entrance level stunt model.
Yeah.
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 Very good.
Very
So
good.
I'll show you guys in a week or
loaner
so.
electric. I'll do that.
Well, if you can figure out a way to do that, it probably work good too.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a
Gotta go
problem.
to a combat meet where they wreck a lot of airplanes.
Hey, Peter.
Yes. Yep, that's him. That's him.
That's Mike Rogers.
No question.
Oh my God.
Look
That
at
is definitely him.
Look at that hair.
It's Gene Schaefer in the background with the shirt on, and that's Freddie Miles without the shirt.
Wow.
Cool.
That's the fella.
Oh, that's Carrot Top, yeah.
Carrot Top.
Hey, Len,
Yes, sir.
I think that's a great idea what you're doing, recycling those FAI planes like that.
Yeah, I just had this old FAI wing sitting down in the basement, and I thought, hey, I know what I could do, and it just seemed natural to me that, hey, I'm going to build a stunter out of this thing.
You know what else works really good too is the old slows from the 90s and early 2000s, the Russian slows, the Mezliks.
Okay.
Because they got really, really long booms on them.
That's perfect.
They were for Nelson 36s on suction, and they had to have so long of a fuselage. You put a old Fox 40 on those.
Oh, they'd be perfect.
I've got some old Fox 40s, and that's what Sam learned to do figure eights and inverted flying with at Brodax. That's what his first figure eights were at Brodax with an old slow. You don't got to set them up to run 90 miles an hour. You just send them up fat. They stunt well with the Fox 40. It's the same weight as the Nelson. We didn't even put landing gear on them, but yeah, if you can ever find any of the old Mezlik slows or Czechoslovakian slows, they work really good for that too. Plus, they're tough, and when they hit the ground, they don't break most of the time.
Yeah, they bounce. That's what you want. That's awesome. Cool.
Question, Len, do you think you could bolt that front end pod through the motor mount pod on the wing?
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and do it that way at first. I'm not going to glue it and see how it works.
Yeah, I'd say don't glue it. But the other thing is, I was wondering if you could even use nylon bolts on that, so you would have a layer of impact protection. It's if it hits on the nose, it would shear the bolts, and that would be that.
Dennis, what I would do there, I think you're on the right track with the nylon, but I wouldn't use 2 nylon bolts. I would use one, and then one metal one, and then if it hits, the motor mount's gonna move. It's gonna bend.
That could help a lot, though. You're gonna absorb a lot of energy, I think, if you could let that thing loose, if it could shear like that.
Yeah, I'm just a little worried about the vibration of the engine. I don't know. It might work, it might not.
One bolt
is now further from the fuselage. Like you're getting further and further away by bringing the engine further forward.
Sort of like the push panels on Howard's Tesla.
Like I don't trust the nylon bolts. I'll be using real bolts. I'm too afraid of the nose coming off this thing and having somebody on the outside of the circle wearing it. I'm not about to take that chance.
That's why what Mike suggested with one bolt would probably not be bad. The other thing that might work, maybe an in-between, maybe use an aluminum bolt or something like that.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, something like that might work fine. Something that will shear off if it crashes.
Yeah, that would still have a better chance of shearing on a steel bolt.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah.
But
I
the
can
other-
shear off all kinds of stuff when I crash.
My theory is this though. The nose on this airplane, I'm going to show you how simple this is. The nose on this airplane, all it is two pieces of hardwood and a piece of balsa in between. There's nothing else glued
Right.
together with epoxy. So if it crashes and breaks, you can make another one in about 15 minutes. So I'm not too worried about the nose breaking or not. You know what I'm saying? If the nose breaks, it breaks. Doesn't matter. You make another one.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the nose breaking the wing.
Yeah, true enough. I see what you mean.
You're twisting that block in the wing. That could break it. You break the wing there, you don't have a lot to work with.
I guess we'll see. I mean, mind you that when the FAIs crash, they go straight in and the steel mounts and the engine and everything else goes into the ground. So it shouldn't be too much different. But we'll see what happens. We'll give it a go. Somebody will.
Hey, you guys, Jim has his hand raised, and so go ahead, Jim. You must be muted, Jim. I can't hear you.
While we're waiting, I gotta go, guys.
Okay, Bob.
All right. Hey, thanks, Bob, for coming in.
Take care, Bob.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
See you later.
Enjoy your vortex generator.
Well, I'm not muted.
No, you're not.
There you go. Now we hear you.
Okay. Hey, Dennis, I was going to tell you that our prodding of Trayan, I don't know if you know or not, but he has the final design all done, and he's got a guy in Colorado or someplace out west that has a CNC machine that's making these. So he's already I think it's actually he changed a few things on it, but so we're gonna have those pretty soon. So I thank you for prodding him along with me.
I'm not sure I understand what is he doing?
He has a take apart system.
A take apart system. Wow.
Yeah, it's a really nice one. So Denny and I saw it, and we both liked it. And so you can use it on any airplane, the way it's designed. And so Train was talking him into doing it, and he found somebody that can make it, and so it's in the works.
Well, that sounds like a darn good first step.
This is the one with the cams, with the cam nuts.
Well,
the
kinda, yeah, except he's changed things around. In the back, he's got like a spring he had to put in there and some other stuff. But this it's still kind of the cam thing. But it's a little different. So it'd be better actually. So well, I'm gonna call it a night, fellas. I gotta go.
All right, Jim.
All right, thanks for coming in, Jim. I mean, that's awesome coming in when you're not feeling good and you're under the influence. We appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, I ain't got my teeth yet.
Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
Good night, Jim.
Night.
Geez,
know,
I show up and they're falling like flies, Charles. I'm sorry.
No worries. I wanted to add to something Jim said earlier about the clips. I make the clips with that from Jim Lee. He uses that the original guy.
That Derek Moran.
Derek Moran. So I use that system, but I use like 3 different diameter wire because I found that when the clips get really short, let's say you have a clip that's about a 1/2 inch in length, that 50 thousandths is really hard to open up, so I've got a thinner one. Then when you go on the other end, when you have a clip, I've tried clips that were over 1 inch, sometimes 1.25 inches long. They felt too thin, so I have a thicker wire for those.
Oh, good idea.
I have a thinner wire for the ones that are shorter. So I have like 3 different diameters that I use. This makes it easier because those short clips were so hard because 50 thousandths is really hard to. And I wish I would have pursued Does anyone know what Jim was talking about? Jim Smith talked about his clips, how it's thicker on one end than the other. And I didn't know, he said he slid a tube on it. Does anybody know what he was talking about?
Yeah, there's a pin on the Jim Lee clip bender, and maybe 16th inch diameter. And he puts a tube over that, maybe it's an 1/8 inch diameter. Bend the wire around. He puts a piece of brass tubing over that pin and makes bigger radius.
Oh, the dowel pin in the clip bender. He puts the slides over the dowel pin.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. I see. I thought you
now I
meant the clip
understand.
itself.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay.
I was lost. Thank you, Howard. Now I'm.
Okay,
Does everybody
that's good.
understand what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Cool idea, I think.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
That's awesome.
So he's just adjusting the radius then.
Yeah, the radius of the turn. Yeah, on the clip.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier to, I guess, to put the clips through the his handle. He found that his handle was hard to get on. I mean, get the clips on his handle. So I guess he increased the diameter of the scissor part, not the other part, right? You think, Howard?
The other part, I think. The end away from the scissors.
Oh, he makes that bigger. Okay.
Yeah, so it'll make the radius big. Yeah, I know what he's saying about getting that through some of them handles, especially if it's made of aluminum and it's a little thicker. You can't get the curve through it. You can, but you really got to work
You
at
have
it.
to work at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still making those clips with a pair of round nose pliers. I guess I got
That works.
I guess I better step up my technology a little here, fellas.
Oh no, man, you're doing pretty good. I was really impressed with the hardware for your handle you're making. Now I'm still have to go get me a box at Home Depot or Lowe's.
Hand cut parts, yeah.
I'll tell you what though, if you buy one from Jim Lee, get the one with the double screw on it so you can make the differences.
Absolutely. I bought one. I bought the first one, and then which is 1/16 increments, and then I bought the second one, which has both ends. So I spent twice the money. And I'm not sure I gave the other one away. You know, I think Carl, I might have given that to Dan. You don't need to respond, but just think about it. You don't need to respond, Carl, but just maybe Dan might have it. It's a clip bending tool. Yeah. So anyways, just a thought. I know Dave Sabon asked me what I did with it, and I had already given it away. And I think I gave it to Dan Sick.
What was the difference between them?
Well, one is 1/32 increments, and one is 1/16 increments.
Okay.
And most people just buy the 1/16. And when I was talking to Jim Lee, he was like, "You can tell the difference?" I go, "Yeah, I can tell the difference of 1/32." And he goes, "Wow!" And so it's more expensive, the 1/32 increment tool, but it like Howard said.
I found that a lot of the times that when that was making, because we were just kind of making clips like Len did, because a lot of times a 16th of an inch is a 32 seconds too far one way or the other. You can't get it level.
Can't get it right. Exactly.
No, you can't get it right. You need that smaller amount of adjustment.
Yeah, and Steve knows this. You have to build 5 clips to get one good one.
Yeah.
That one's too big.
What tool is it you're talking about?
It's a tool that makes clips, because I turned Dan Sick onto hard points, I think, and then I think he wanted to borrow my tool. It's a tool we use that we actually can make our own clips, our own scissor clips. A lot of my clips, like on the Strega, I can't slide my wire through the handle. So when I want to adjust my neutral, I actually change the length of the clips. Or, that's how I do it. But there's a tool that helps you do it. Now, Lynn, being so industrious, he just uses a round nose pair of pliers and just bends his wire himself. You can do it that way. But Jim Lee makes a tool that makes it simpler. I mean, I can consecutively make the same size clip over and over and over again, where it's kind of hard when you're using the round nose pair of pliers to do that.
Even with the Jim Lee tool there, I can make the same clip over and over, and it ain't that great sometimes.
Yeah, I know it just takes practice. I usually will make several sets at one time because it's it's time consuming. I mean, the time it takes to make one, I can make 5 or 6, so it's just more efficient to make lots of clips.
Well, what I end up doing is that I was worried about keeping the ends of them the same on the loop, so they end in the same place.
Exactly.
But I found out that a Dremel tool will even them up perfectly.
Yes. I have a nice little wire cutter that I will just trim them.
Oh, okay.
And I'll
I just push them through and trim them up with a.
And I try to get the burrs off, make sure there's nothing that will mess the wire. We could put them on off. You don't want to nick a wire,
Other than Dennis knows, but I was going to tell everybody we soloed a new person yesterday here.
Fantastic.
That friend of Samantha's that came to the Nats and watched everything. He wanted to fly, so we got him doing wing overs and loops and stuff like that. So
now, was this guy a former RC pilot, or he didn't know anything about model airplanes?
Didn't know nothing. Never seen a model airplane before.
Wow, that's awesome.
But
Steve, go ahead.
We use the that Ringmaster, Brodak Ringmaster that I got the throttle deal made on. So Samantha, when he first went out there, he got dizzy. She'd just slow the airplane down, fly it slower for a few laps till he got on dizzy again, and then when he did that, it was the first one. He's going to do a loop, and he did end up doing a wing over, and he was trying to turn, but he wasn't turning very fast. She just hit into the throttle, and the whole airplane just said, eh. Once he got back around, she hits the throttle, and he flies out of it. And
there you go. Hang on, Howard. Just hang on, yeah. So go ahead, Steve.
Howard got one to show.
Yeah, he has.
There it is.
This is the tool that we're talking about, Carl. It looks like that.
And the one we're talking about that only has the one prong where Howard's left hand would be. That's for the 16th inch, and the one with a double one like he's got will give you the 32 inch difference.
Can't hear you, Howard.
You're muted there, Howard.
This is the Rush version.
Yes.
You made that Rush?
That's what you specify. Specify the Rush version. You get the
the 2 prongs.
I ain't jabbing.
This is your version, huh? Very good.
Yeah.
So is your suggestion that Jim did it that way?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what? If you put 4 of them on there, you could really get fine tuning.
Well, you'd probably need
164
6 because it's a hex nut there.
Yeah, put 6 of them on there. Then
Well, then you'd be all set for the weenie roast too. So
yeah,
marshmallows, whatever.
Clamp in the vise that way. So
how's that work?
You place it in the vise.
It works really good.
And you adjust the spread by that nut. So the further you spin the nut out, if you're loosening the nut, it lengthens the difference between the 2 dowel pins. And then if you turn the nut right, righty tighty, right? Then you're narrowing the space between the 2 dowel pins, and you bend the wire between those 2 dowel pins. And there's another tool.
A wiper. It's a wiper arm.
Yeah.
That hits and so you got that wiper arm.
Yeah.
Howard.
Yeah.
Hell, Howard, if you come over, I'll give you some wire and you can wrap some or make some for these guys and show them online here.
Here, this is. Can you see this?
Yeah, there's the wiper arm. Show them the hole in it. There's a hole on one end, and that goes on that thing, and then there's a wiper on the other end.
I couldn't read what it says, Howard. What does it say, Howard?
It says custom made for Howard Rush, LMS.
All right.
2008. Yeah.
Very good. Well, now we know.
That's it. That's why it's the Howard Rush version of the bender, right?
That's right. That's right.
Very cool.
This goes on here, and
careful, Howard, or people are going to want autographed versions of that,
well, this is autographed by Jim Lee, so that's what that'll cost you extra.
So that goes inside a vise, Carl, and then that's how you hold it. You don't hold it in your hand. I mean, maybe Howard holds his in hand, but I put mine in a vise.
Nice, yeah.
Hey, Steve, I wanted to have you elaborate, because there was a question about teaching someone how to fly inverted, and I thought you had said earlier that you just launched the plane inverted. Is that right?
That's how we practiced. Yeah, when Samantha was, first starting out, it was a fluke the first time. I think it was the third or fourth time out that we went and flown that little half A, and I went to launch it, and right when I launched it, the motor sagged, and I yelled up, 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 and I thought it was going to hit the ground, but then the motor came on super strong, and she did a loop and had it inverted. So I was telling her which way to move the handle, and so she flew the whole flight inverted, and that's when she said, she goes, "Man, Dad, it took me a minute to learn how to fly that thing backwards." And, so after that, we do one flight regular. I just launch it, start it, launch it, and she'd fly. And because that half A, she could kind of get a loop. And then the next flight, I'd launch it inverted, and she'd fly it. And we go back and forth until she could fly inverted as well as she could fly, normal. But it wasn't doing the whole pattern then. But once we got a bigger airplane that would fly the pattern, she could still fly inverted. I mean, as good as she could fly upright. And then so when we started doing loops, she would practice her loops from upright, and then she'd practice loops from inverted. So we did it that way. So there was never a difference on that hand. Her mind never got fixed on up and down or whatever. She just learned to fly the airplane. No, if it was inverted, down was up and regular up was up. So, but yeah, we were going to try to launch yesterday, but we ran out of daylight. We got out I had to mow the field first and stuff like that. But he was willing to fly some inverted. But we said next time we get out there, then we're just gonna launch, and I'll just launch inverted, and we'll get him flying inverted. So he just doesn't get fixed with one or the other.
Yeah, I guess I'd have been ready to fly inverted a lot sooner if I was flying a borrowed airplane. So
a what?
A borrowed airplane. Yeah. I had to build my own airplane, so I was scared to death to take them inverted. So.
Well, because I was teasing them, I said, now you realize when I taught Samantha to fly, the first time I was on the handle with her and just bumping her, you usually don't have to worry about them going too high. They're always coming towards the ground. So I just sat there and hit her hand, and did that. And I said, the second flight, they launched. Once the airplane was in the air, I sat down and she screamed the whole time, "Dad, help me, I'm going to crash. And she flew it out. So I was only on the handle with Samantha for one for the first flight she ever flew.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
And then I'm like, you need to do it if you dump it in the ground. So, but she actually was on the handle with him twice for the first two flights. And then after that, she just sat on the ground with the throttle and would, we just flew it fairly slow, not real fast, and let him get used to level laps, then kept speeding it up. And he got dizzy, so he slowed it down. And then the wing overs, and then she wasn't on the handle with him. She did get up, and for the first loop, she's like, raise your arm, follow the airplane and stuff. Showed him one loop, and then she sat back down, and then he could do loops. So, but yeah, it worked out really good. So next time his inverted flight, when he goes out again, we're going to teach him how to fly inverted before he gets used to doing everything upright. Yeah. But yeah, that's the plan, kind of how she learned, Yeah. And it was a deal where it was a fluke the way she first learned to fly inverted. So I figured once she knew, I just kept changing, make her fly one flight inverted and one flight regular. So, but that's how I, taught Samantha how to do it. And I wish I would have learned that way.
Yeah.
Why didn't you? You should have taught yourself at the same time. You should have both been taking turns flying.
Yeah, but Samantha couldn't launch and she couldn't start.
Well, you could have started it. She could launch it.
Yeah, I guess I could have ran out there to the handle and stuff.
Yeah. Not now. Now you have to walk.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it learns you to, it teaches you to walk in both directions.
That's right.
The biggest thing with me in flying inverted is I forget to walk.
Yeah.
And Samantha laughs about it, But yeah, she was out there, and that was the same thing that Carson was doing. At first he wasn't walking, or he'd slow down, he'd get fixated on the airplane. So you could hear out there saying, walk, walk, turn, walk. When we had him walking around the circle a little bit, kind of like racing.
Yeah.
More than trying to pivot on yourself. That's what he was trying to do. And he was getting all whacked up. So we just had him walk in a circle.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what you should do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked out great.
Well, thanks for explaining that. That's what I remember. And I mentioned that before you came in. And so you kind of elaborate on it. Great. Hey, Mark, I was just wondering, you're looking better, but you're talking less. What's up?
Yeah. A little bit of both. Yeah, it's the treatments are going well. So, it's the skin stopped falling off in my coffee yesterday. So that was good. Yeah.
What kind of treatments you having?
Some chemo for some skin cancer. So.
Oh.
Yeah, it is what it is. It seems to be working. Yeah.
Good. Now, are you doing building or flying?
Sorry?
Doing any building? You're making any progress on the plane?
Yeah, a little bit. I was just, the electric vector is just about ready to get everything adjusted on. I actually took some time in flying my little white magician that I built in Africa finally.
All right, great. I love the magician.
It's a good learning airplane, and I made kind of a stride here last week, and started with some successful non-balsa wood mushroom cloud outside maneuvers. So I was
cool,
and it come back with a gear and everything still on the airplane.
That's awesome.
Very good.
I think one thing too that I'll pass on to any kind of new beginner flyers and stuff that I learned, in the beginning, that your hand is not that steady, so I had moved my line spacing on my handle,
Closed it down.
Close.
Yeah.
Closed it down. So it was nice and smooth. But when I actually started finding out, especially with the outside maneuver, is the hand movement is so much that that's why my outside maneuvers are getting so big. is I'd have to move my hand so much to make it happen. I just wasn't aggressive enough on it, and skin a few airplanes that way. But I think once you, at least for me, once I found out that, just move that line spacing out just a little bit to help speed up that input.
Exactly.
And it allows a little less hand movement and more response versus a lot of hand movement and slow response, and then the panic pull and, the whole works. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that. Yeah.
Hey, Mark, are they burning them off with that spray, or what are they?
No, it's a chemical. It's like a chemical salve and lotion, basically. And
it's a chemical peel then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it only attacks the cancerous or precancerous cells. So that's why that's why you can see the blotches. Which was kind of what she was saying. Is you're going to be very surprised when this starts to take effect to see how much was really there.
Okay, yeah. Because last year, that guy, he on this cheek here, it's like the third time he's burned it with with the spray, and then on my forehead and stuff like that. I got to go see him in a couple weeks, and so I figure my face will be lit up again. My back was what?
Yeah,
did they find anything on your back or shoulders?
No, the problem with some of this is that it did spread a little bit into my lymph nodes, but it's we're working on what's going to happen with that, but one step at a time. I guess it was so much there. Anyway, get back to airplanes.
Just get back to model airplanes. I hate to be so harsh. We can talk more about it in the after party. But anyways, tell me more about that magician.
Well, like I said, it started out as I did order the electric magician because Denny, it's been well over a year. I'd talked to Denny about making the first magician. I was going to build electric, but then didn't have the time or whatever, couldn't make it work when I was in Africa. So I built that over there. It's been around the world in a Gulfstream 550 a couple times. Finally got back to the US. Refitted it with the Kevlar hinges. Real happy with those so far.
Oh, good.
That's working well. And the little McCoy, the McCoy Red Hat is, I'm finally getting that sound and being able to get it to needle right, and starting to get the ear to find that break, and
is it a 29, a 35? 29 or a 35? 35, okay, cool.
35. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And not come too easy for some people. I know some people can't tell the motor's running too lean, or can't tell, that it's just a little bit too lean. And it's like you learn that sound, and so not everybody knows it right away,
I think honestly is what really kind of tuned me in a little bit more. I mean, you could somebody can tell you all day, and he's okay, you hear it, yeah, maybe, but until you actually hear it yourself. And what got my ear tuned to that was when watching Dave when like his Fox 35 on that Neptune. That was probably the best tune I've ever, or anybody is just perfect. The break was just perfect. But that recognizing that sound kind of tuned me in a little bit better. So if you can hear somebody else that really has it down, do it first. Then I think you can get closer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then once the plane's in the air, then I listen to it while I was doing maneuvers. I can tell it's more of a finer tuning. It's like, no, it's a little bit too lean because it's beginning to lean sag. You might not be able to tell that when you're going to launch it.
Lean sag is a bad thing.
I listened to it like today when I was flying my Strega. The first flight, I didn't even touch the needle. It didn't need to change. It's been hot for some time. So the first flight, I just flew it and I listened to the motor and I realized, I needed to open it up a little bit. you know, from what sounded okay when it was when Joe was holding it today. But once it's in the air is when I decided, oh, I need to open it up a little bit more. I really couldn't tell. I mean, it was sounding pretty good. It had a kind of a cycling between, you know, a rich 2 to a 4, kept going back and forth, which I usually like, sounding good. But when I was flying, then I realized, nope, need a little bit more, open up just a little bit more. So it's like all listening with the your ear.
Always listening. That's right.
You know, one thing I did learn also too was prop. You know, I'd started out with a 10-4 because it's pretty light. It's like 28 ounces is that Magician, you know, and it started out pretty light. So I figured, okay, I want to slow it down some, you know, so that a 10-4. But it just didn't have. It was getting light overhead and like a wing over and stuff. So, and I couldn't quite hear the break like I could. I put a 10-5, like an APC 10-5 on it, and it made a difference. Obviously in the line tension and stuff, you know, in the wing overs and stuff like that. But I guess the sound, because, and you know, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but it was because the 10-5 was loaded up a little more.
Yeah,
that would be my guess. Yeah.
Very good.
Well, guys, I had to go. I have
Take
to
it
get up
easy,
in the
Tom.
morning. So
All right. You have to get up in the morning. You don't just keep sleeping all day long and all night long. You get up.
I have to get up early tomorrow.
Oh, you have to get up early. Okay. 'Cause I have to get up tomorrow too. Or else I'll be dead.
All right. We'll see you guys.
But thanks for coming in, man.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
I think we should all just sleep till the next Stunthangar. Yeah, till it's
That's it.
over and then sleep till the next one.
Set the alarm for 9:45 Monday.
That's right, on
Gotcha,
Monday.
gotcha, Len.
So you saying we're just gonna fly in our dreams? We're not gonna fly for real.
No, we're not gonna bother. Just fly in your dreams. You can win the
And
Nats
then we'll just
every day.
report on the dreams. We'll be talking about. I dreamed I did a 40-point, square 8.
Right.
I dreamed I crashed my airplane and nothing happened to it.
Yeah, well, I was in the auto industry. One night I dreamed I was a mumbler. Woke up exhausted.
You got those dreams too, eh?
That's right, because Lynn came from the automotive industry as well.
Right, Charles, you just answered a question I was going to ask. You obviously figured out what was wrong with the stray gun takeoffs, so that's good to hear. So.
Yeah, you know what? How it started was before I went flying Monday, I saw the half-ounce of tail weight, and I thought, well, I moved the motor aft 5/8 of an inch. It couldn't possibly need that half-ounce of tail weight.
Oh, yes,
I didn't think it would. I didn't think I would need it. So that was the biggest assumption. You make an ass out of,
Did you need the tail weight or not?
It did need the tail weight. And then I
only change one thing at a time.
You know what? I heard your voice today, Steve, because I was so tempted when I was adjusting doing trim flights. I wanted to do two things, and I could hear Steve going, only do one thing at a time.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because I'm thinking I could do this and that. I can move.
No, don't ever do that. Yeah, because then you don't know what caused it to work better,
right?
Or worse.
Yeah, exactly.
If it works worse, then you're saying, then you try to tell yourself, well, it was this and not that, and
right.
You don't know.
You don't know. Yeah,
you just mix yourself up worse.
That's true. Yeah. So I took off, put the tail weight back on, and I bent the landing gear forward because it still was, I could just put the plane on its nose and it would stay there. I didn't like that, so I bent the wheels forward so that when I put it on its nose, it rolled back, it gently come back down, and I knew I was in the ballpark. And then I also, Dennis, I didn't call you, but I did not have the washers on the corner of the axle. So I went ahead and soldered on some washers.
On the inside, good.
On the inside. And
wire band, yeah.
And now those wheels really spin. And now when it comes in for landing, it lands almost a half a lap.
That's the way it should be.
it comes in and rolls, and so it's flying pretty good. But I really thought it would turn much quicker. I was a little bit disappointed in that, but I'm having to retrim the whole plane all over again, which I guess is kind of be expected when you move the motor back. You have to retrim the plane, right?
Well, you know what, Charles? You may have to keep taking off tail weight, but set up
nose
the
weight.
landing gear, so that it doesn't nose over like that. I mean, you're adjusting for the CG in flight, not how it lands. So you may have to make go back to the original landing gear. That
No, I think where he's going to be going, though, if he's still not happy with the turn, it sounds like he's more likely to add tail weight than nose weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
agree. Add more tail weight or take some weight out of the nose. Get that big spinner off of there. That's too much
Actually,
weight.
you know what? You're interesting. You mentioned that when it was on the first flight, I felt the vibration through the handle, and I was like, "Well, that's a new spinner."
Get
So
rid
I
of that big
took
spinner.
it off.
Yeah.
And then the vibration lessened. It's still a slight bit of vibration. I don't know if I'm feeling the muffler, so I don't really have the rear exhaust muffler supported.
Is your old spinner lighter than your new one?
No, it's heavier. The old spinner is an aluminum spinner, and the new one's a nylon spinner.
See if you can get a smaller nylon spinner with the lightest.
Yeah, get that muffler supported. I told you about Dick.
Yeah, I know. It's just
that damn thing came. The case broke right during flight.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but it's just like so many things have kept me from getting to the flying circle.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe and Carl can attest to me calling him saying, "I'm not going to show up today. I'm not going to show up today." So many times that's happened, and so I knew I could fly it, and so I took it out today. And I told him I have a list of other things I still want to do, and that's on that list, Carl. That's one of the things that's on that list is support the muffler.
Yeah, I'd do that. That'd be my next thing.
Yeah, it's I think my list.
You break the case and you're going to be sick.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I will do that. It's on my list. It's on the list. But one thing I'm going to try to balance the spinner. I don't have a whole lot of experience balancing spinners. You guys have experience balancing spinners?
No, not really.
Yeah, they're a pain in the ass to do.
I've never done one.
Did you balance?
They're not
the
very
prop?
far out. The diameter is not very big, so I don't think they have much effect. Balancing has much effect, unless you got
The spinner is 2 3/4, Howard.
Oh, is it crude?
Is it true?
Is it crude?
A crude spinner.
CRUDE, like.
Oh, is it crude? Well, I wouldn't say so. No, I don't think so.
No, don't worry about that.
Well,
get the Just make sure the prop's well balanced. That's
I balanced the prop last week before I even flew it, and I did not only the horizontal balancing, but I also did the vertical where you are actually balancing the hub. And so that thing is balanced pretty well. I don't know how else to. I mean, you can put it anywhere in 360 and it'll stay there.
Okay, that's perfect.
Try the back plate. You balance that like you do a prop. Through the through the hole. You can't do it with the double taper. One's tapered, one's flat, and you can stick that on there and see if you can really see a heavy spot on the back plate. The nose cone, though, you got to be able to have it hold on by itself and put it on there. Otherwise, the nose cone falls off, and it's a real pain in the ass to do the cone. The back plate's easy to balance that.
Yeah, and if you need to lose weight, you just drill a hole in the back plate, right?
Well, yes.
You don't need that much.
Couldn't you?
Partial hole.
Some of them have lightning holes in them already. They'll put in some lightning, to keep it light. And then where one of them things are, you can kind of just file or take a Dremel and just sand it a little bit. where the
Couldn't you-
lightning holes are at.
couldn't you
If it's a
use a-
solid, I don't know, is yours a solid back?
Yeah, solid back.
Well, Mike, see if it's anywhere near constant thickness. And if it
Oh, that's an
is,
idea, Howard. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's true too.
I think it's
unless
extreme.
it's really far off, don't worry about it.
All right.
Or
well,
maybe if it's made out of gold or something that's dense,
Well, couldn't you take it like the old bubble balancers on the car tires? where
right.
you have a perfectly straight like rod with a point on the end of it sticking
Right.
straight up. And
Right.
set it down on there and see if it tilts.
Okay.
that'd tell you whether the end of it is centered.
Yeah, it does.
That's true
Just,
too. Yeah.
That wouldn't tell you what you want to know. would
yeah.
it?
I mean,
Yeah, that'd be the other thing is to spin it and have something set in there and check the run out of it. See if it runs out okay.
Or you could do like how just don't worry about it.
That's what I do. That's worked for me for 50 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
ultimately, you shouldn't need a whole lot of weight. The amount of weight you would need is minuscule. So if you, rather than trying to lighten a heavy spot, rough up the light spot with some sandpaper and put a dab of epoxy on it. And that should be enough almost to balance out anything you're gonna find in it.
that's
Now you got a crude spinner.
Put it on the inside, not on the outside.
Oh God! By the way, I disagree. Always take weight off. Don't add weight. Sand the heavy side. Don't put epoxy on it and make it heavier.
Yeah.
Well, the two ways of killing the snow.
That's true.
Ultimately, the amount you would need is so small, it
Well,
really
that's
wouldn't
true.
matter much one way or the other.
So you're going to take this, and you're going to take an APC prop with a hole drilled 1/4 inch off center.
Yeah, that works. That'll do it.
Or here's even a different solution. Use the same prop, but balance it with the prop on the spinner and back plate already, if you can, and then balance out the whole thing by taking weight off of off every side of the prop until the whole thing as a unit balances.
And when you change the prop, you got to do it over again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you would.
You got to
Well, yeah,
assemble it
do the prop
the
anyway.
same way every single time.
Obviously.
Gotta
Do you have a prop scribe?
Yeah. Yes.
Check. I mean, that's one thing you can do is stick that in. We used to always check our blades because they could be off by a little bit in diameter. You know,
That's
the hole
true.
isn't directly in the middle.
That's true.
You know, but usually you see that too when you balance your props. But we check and see, and take some tip off to get the.
That is
get
a
'em.
good point. And I got that prop scribe by Jim Lee. That's a good tool I got from Jim Lee as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that and hub balance the prop. I mean, you'd be surprised on how one side, the hub of the prop will be heavier than the
Oh,
other.
yeah. Most props I have had the hub is out of balance.
Oh yeah. I don't know where that the Zor props are hub balanced, and you can see where they drill little holes.
Right.
And I guess if they drill too much, they add a little of epoxy because some of them I got little
red
dots.
dots. Yeah.
Yeah,
red
inside
dot,
there. So they're being pretty precise on hub balancing them things.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, by the way, I put a 14.8 Zor prop on my Strega. That worked fantastic.
That's a serious piece of prop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked fantastic. I wasn't sure it would turn it.
I don't think even my lawnmower has an 8-pitch.
Yeah, right, exactly. Damn.
That's it. Briggs and Stratton, baby.
Yeah, baby. Briggs and Stratton 8-pitch prop.
Hey, Charles.
Yes.
Another thing you can do too on the back plate of your spinner, you can run a bolt through it. It's close to the size of the hole that you got, tighten it down, make sure the bolt's long enough, and put it in your drill motor and the chuck. Put your drill motor in the vise, and then hit your trigger, and then mark it somehow with a marker. Get your marker to where it's just barely touching your back plate, and turn your drill motor on and let it spin, and then see where the marker's not marking your back plate.
You gotta talk softer. You're hurting Lynn's ears. and Mark.
Nothing, huh?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm sorry. In the after party,
okay.
I will
All
try to
right.
help you in the after party, Carl. I think I can help in the after party with your microphone, but we'll have to deal with it later. But hey, John, you made it in. Did you remember your password or what?
You're muted.
There.
There it is.
No, what I did is I rebooted. And rebooted.
Reboot.
Yeah, and then came right through, just nice and easy.
You're looking good.
The old, everybody, once they get old should have that same password, I forgot. So so then anytime it asks for a password, you type in I forgot and you'll get right in.
That works.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I never thought of that one.
My dad had a friend, his password was incorrect. So every time he typed something in, it would tell him your password's incorrect. So he'd go back in and put it incorrect.
And he would type in what? Eddie, I didn't catch it.
He would make his password incorrect.
Incorrect. That makes sense.
So when he typed in his password and it was wrong, it would say your password's incorrect. Tell him what his password is.
That is perfect for those who can't remember stuff. Who have CRS. That is
CRS,
great.
that's right. That's a great idea. I love it.
The only thing missing is who's on first, right?
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Your password is incorrect. Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, now I remember.
It's incorrect.
I love it.
boy.
Thank you very much. That's too funny.
Well, I didn't have that problem. The problem was I'd never checked in under my name with my password. So it kept asking me for that. So I typed it in, I went and pulled up the password for this chat session, put that in there, and it says incorrect password. And then it said unknown error, sign in under your browser. So I tried that. Same thing all over again. It was a bear. I would say it was something else, like for a female dog, but
Save it for the after party.
Well, I just said it was a female dog.
I think it's time to go to the after party.
Must be.
Also, I notice we're getting into minutia about balancing spinners. If you want to balance spinners, well, then you might as well send your engine out to Randy and have him blueprint the crankshaft to make sure the crankshaft is in balance with the prop and the spinner. And
oh my gosh!
Yeah, we have a.
Hey, look at! I can balance the battery. Oh, I could for a second anyway. Spinners are smaller; they're harder to balance.
The batteries, it's off balance because you got your wires on one side. It needs to come out the center.
Yeah.
Marcel says hi, John.
Hi, Marcel.
oh yeah, quick! John came on. Great. Quick question, John. I have a question for you about the Saginaw.
Oh, okay.
The leading edge on it. Once the leading edge is all done and everything, it's a rather pointy leading edge. Should I knock that back or should I leave it roughly the same profile as it builds?
Knock it back.
Okay, thanks.
Round it off.
All right, thanks.
You betcha. Marcel sent me a picture of his progress on his Pathfinder. Now he just got that set of plans couple of days ago, and I had to go have them printed up and everything. And I tell you what, he seems to be a very fast and accurate builder. It looks good. His fuselage is hollow. Because this is a later set of plans than the one Gordon's was built on. Gordon's.
I'll be back in a minute.
Gordon's, the fuselage was solid. And anyway, the idea was to try to get some strength to avoid twisting on the stabilizer, but it turns out that the twins don't tend to do that. So it wasn't that big a deal, but it kind of makes for a lighter airplane. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing it. He went with a pair of, I believe it's 21s. He had some from his days with pylon racing, and so he didn't have any 15s. Didn't want to go buy any 15s. If he could use the 21s. I don't see any reason why he can't use the 21s. But I just said you don't want to go if you want between a 9.3 and a 9.4 prop, somewhere in there, to keep the speed and everything where it needs to be. I said, you need to be an engine man. And he said, well, he's been flying pylon for 10 years. So I figure he probably knows his engines. And he did too. So anyway, I think he's going to make a very nice one. And the main thing I didn't get the chance to tell him was really make sure all your thrust lines and incidences are all at 0, 0 on that twin. And the only one that you might want to put a little out thrust on is the outside pod. You can put a degree or two of out thrust on that one. That helps you in the engine up operation.
You don't need it.
No,
I
no.
assume that I don't have it, but it's hard to tell which engine is out when you lose an engine. You kind of have to look at the wheels.
Well, did Gordon put any out thrust in his outer nacelle?
I don't think so.
I don't remember, but in any case, you're right. You're right. The plane is. Yeah. I've flown that red twin, and it is just a dream to fly. Goes where you point it, doesn't complain.
Speaks really highly of that plane. I only saw it, but I never flown it.
You just like drawing pictures in the sky.
Don, mine always go in the direction I point it to. Sometimes it's just I point it in the wrong direction.
Well, that happens, yeah. You got to get past that, Eddie.
Can't tell from me.
So is Howard going to show us the twin?
He probably will if you ask him.
Oh, I thought that's what he was.
I lost
Signal.
Wi-Fi out there, but yeah, it doesn't appear to have it. I didn't want to get it down.
Well, then
I don't think it does.
You couldn't do it either because it's real. Well, the problem is with that ring around right behind the prop and all that nose stiffener and all that. If you decide to do it later, you really mess that up. So
yeah, well, you put on the whole thing, forget, but I'm pretty sure it's straight, and I know that it's really hard to tell which engine quits when one quits.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I noticed that with mine, and but I had a little bit of out thrust in mine. I guess you just makes a choice and decides which way you want to do it.
Might not want to do overhead eights with one engine.
No.
If you
Yeah, are
could,
plans
then,
available for Gordon's version of that?
Hey, what?
The original?
What
Are
was that,
plans
Howard?
available for, are plans available?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can get them from me or you can get them from Flying Models.
Oh, Flying Models
They're the ones that published it.
is extinct, but maybe the AMA has them.
AMA has their plans there. No,
Okay.
actually, Flying Model Karsten is still selling
I
plans.
think Flying Models Plan Service still exists, but that information's a year old.
Well,
I got
I
some
bought
plans from them a year ago.
I bought some plans from them not too long ago.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but if they
Does
don't,
the AMA have them?
they do. They
I don't
they
know.
probably will. But if they don't, if you can't find them, I have.
Oh, okay.
Success. They're loosening.
In fact, I'm toying with the idea of building one, try to get it done. The build's pretty fast. Building one and try to get it done to take to the Las Vegas meet.
How many months
Okay.
away is that?
It's in November. So I'd have 3 months.
The Flying Models Plan site still comes up and still shows plans. So
yeah,
I think they're still good, Howard.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, we
I don't-
know the potential of that design from what
Yeah.
Gordy did with it. So if you don't reach potential, you probably did something wrong.
That's right.
So John, Marcel Legrand has a request. He goes, John, can you please send me the article on it, please?
Yeah, I've got a copy of the article I can send you.
All right. Hey, you guys, I'd like to transition to the after party. I didn't wear my watch this evening, and I see that it's almost 9:20 here. But we had a pretty good night. We had as high and as many as 26 viewers. We have 17 likes. So if you still haven't hit the like button, the thumbs up button, please do that. We have $5 super chat by Jim Smith, and no new members. Don't forget we have a YouTube channel, which is only $4.99 a month. I mean, that's just 17 cents a day, and you get so much for 17 cents a day. It's unbelievable. And so I want to close out. Now, we're not actually going away. We're just going to end the live stream. So if you're feeling wanting, like you would like to be in here with us, what you need to do is, if you're not a Stunthanger Forum member, register at stunthanger.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying, thanks to Jeff Riley. And do that, and then Sparky will, he's spinning lots of plates, but he will eventually approve you. And then you can come into Stunthanger. You can come into Stunthanger now, but you won't see at the bench. That won't show up unless you're a forum member. And once you're a forum member, the at the bench links is enabled, and then you can see the link under at the bench. Anyways, we want to wish you well. Have a good night. We will be back Monday. Go out there and have some fun and shop or out the field. Come back and tell us all about it. And we will see you later. So let me end this.